Damn it! What's up, guys? Welcome back to Gamers Got Game. Not gonna lie, this one was kind of inspired by some of my favorite YouTubers and in my favorite gaming YouTubers. Kind of early in their YouTube, whatever you want to call it, they did a video game collection video, and I kind of want to do the same thing. So that's what we're gonna do. I wanted to do this because I kind of feel like if you're gonna be a gamer or claim to be a gamer, I would like to see that you have bought more than one game in your entire life. So because that's kind of what I would like to see from people who game. And stop hiding your fucking gaming credentials. How are you gonna call yourself a gamer and then when people go to your game profile, it's blocked? We can't see it. We don't know what you be up to for real. I'll tell you right now, guys, because I'm stating this, down here at the bottom of this video, my gamer tag will be up in there. That way y'all can go check me out. It's not the most impressive, but you can see I've been playing games for a pretty long fucking time. Look at me. You know, I ain't an old head. You know, I ain't the oldest motherfucker. So you be like, oh, you just started playing on the ps3. I started playing before the ps3, but you know, I don't got records of that, you know. So, you know, memory cards and the whole thing. Anyway, let's get started. I should have probably organized this in the way I wanted to start them. But we'll get into the ones that I guess I have the most of at first. No. We'll do this. I'm going to do like this. Sorry, I'm looking away sometimes. It's just I got to look at what I got. So, we'll start with this. Battlefield 4. Believe it or not, this is kind of my true exposure, like my first true exposure to the Battlefield series. Wasn't a huge Battlefield fan. When I was like, I don't know, when I was like 16, 17, I was a real Call of Duty fanboy. Like, you couldn't tell me any different. I was all about Call of Duty. It was my shit. But I grew up and that changed. Not saying that, you know, people that still play Call of Duty ain't grown. I still play Call of Duty. It's just, I started opening my my eyes and started being more versatile in the different types and genres of games that I play. Now I play all kinds of types of games. So anyway, that's Battlefield 4. Actually really enjoyed it, and that showed me what true teamwork looked like in an FPS. So take that note. Let's get into, we'll get into that one after. Ghost Recon Wildlands. This game right here, man, I can't tell you how many hours me and the homies put in on this. A lot of those guys I don't game with anymore. Life goes on. They got other stuff they're doing. So, anywho, but this was the jump, man. This was the first game that I remember seeing the trailers for this game, and I was hyped. I was so hyped for this game. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, some of you guys felt it disappointed you. So maybe some of you guys were diehard Ghost Recon fans, and maybe you felt like this stepped away from the traditions of what Ghost Recon was about. I don't know. Like I said, again, actually, this was my first introduction into the Ghost Recon series. So some of you guys were like, oh, you need to go back and play. I like the open world aspects of this game. Was there a lot of dead space? Was there a lot of times you'd be traveling through the world with not much shit to do? Yes, it was. But that was usually after hours of playing. Like, that was like after I had put in a good like 25, 30 hours into the game that I started feeling that way. Because otherwise, before that, I was just trying to get to the compounds, take them out. I was trying to get the contracts. I was doing a lot of shit in this game, man. I enjoyed this one. Flying helicopters, parachuting out. It really was like kind of like a military GTA. You know, it was pretty cool. And again, I know I talked about in a video how I don't like comparing shit, new shit to old shit, or whatever the case is. It's okay. I think it's okay to say a game is similar to another game. I just don't want to say, like, I hate when people are like, oh, like when people are saying that Cyberpunk was their new GTA 5 until GTA 6 comes out. It's like, man, that's, calm down. Anyway, Ghost Recon. Let's get into, knock the dust off this one. Monster Hunter World. Man, again, first entry or first time exposure to the Monster Hunter series. They already had a following, obviously by the time this one came out. But I guess this one was far more ambitious than any of the other ones. Kind of similar to, I think, Ghost Recon. And I think Battlefield 4 was pretty ambitious compared to some of the other ones, but I can't touch on that. Anyway, Monster Hunter World, again, I had a couple friends to play this with at the time, and we had a blast. I love this. It was the first time, it was kind of the first time I got introduced to that style of like, these big, huge bosses, and they take a really long time to beat. I mean, you have to fucking hack them and hack them and hack them. Yeah. And you could spend an hour trying to fight a damn boss, and you still don't kill it. Or, the worst is when you spend time in this fucking game trying to kill these fucking monsters. You spend it. Oh man, I spent some time just chasing that motherfucker, and then they get injured and they get damaged, so they start trying to mosey off and get the fuck away from you. And you hawk them down, you chase them to this part of the map, to this fucking part of the map, and back over there. And then he dips from the map, gone, flies off the map, never to be seen again. Well, you see him again, but he's got full health by then. This is a fucking rager. If you don't like raging in games, or you get rage in games too easy, keep your ass away from this one. Whew. All right, let's get into this one. This is one of my favorite games of all time, mainly because of how ambitious the combat system was. I don't think any of us have ever seen anything like it, or at least not up to the standard that the combat was in For Honor. Oh my gosh! For Honor was the shit! It was the shit! I mean, I don't know what else to say, man. For Honor, man, you got to be choosing between the Viking, Samurai, or just the Knights, and then they added so much more later on. Oh man, but this game was so fucking fun, man, and learning. Learning isn't always the funnest. Let's just be honest. We don't always enjoy learning. I had a good time with the learning curve of this video game. I really did. The learning curve is deep. Real deep. But I enjoyed this one. I did. I enjoyed the shit out of this one. I remember, man, at one point I had got so good at this game that I would get motherfuckers come at me 3-on-1, 4-on-1, and you start to, you dodge, block it, and then parry this one off the map, fucking dodge that one off the map, and then you sink, kill that motherfucker, then it's down to 1v1, you know what I'm saying? And then the dopest is when it become 1v1, and then your homie would come, like your teammate would come and help you, and now it's 2-on-1 versus this guy, and you're like, how the tides have turned, motherfucker. For Honor. If you ain't played it, you're fucking up. And I think it's like on a deep sell. I think you can get the complete collector's edition. I don't know exactly what the name is, but for like $19.99, $20 on PlayStation Network. I could be wrong, it could be a little bit more than that, but fucking worth it if you ain't picked it up. I know it's an older title. Some people say, oh, it's kind of broken. Some people can say they found a way to cheese the game a little bit. But that's with any game that's been out long enough. Especially if the devs kind of stop supporting it, which I'm not saying has happened with this one. I'm just saying I haven't played it in a minute. I'll be honest with you, I haven't played it in a minute. I couldn't afford when they came out with the DLCs and they started to come out with new characters. I wasn't able to afford the DLC at the time, and that kind of like deterred me from the game because there was players that I couldn't play with. So even if I thought they were dope and I wanted to play with them, I couldn't. So that's kind of what steered me away from playing this game. But that's the bump. Alright, let's get into Red Dead Redemption 2. For me, this was a must-have. I don't know, there's not too much to say. I mean, there's a lot to say. There's just not too much to say that all y'all probably haven't already heard, right? This game was dope. Red Dead Redemption 2, obviously Red Dead Redemption, the 2013 release, I think it was 2011. The 2011 release, I think it was what it was, man. that was what broke me out of my Call of Duty. My trance, my Call of Duty trance, and I started playing different types of games, man. And because of that, these Red Deads are special to me. And I was already playing GTAs. I was already playing GTAs at that time. I don't know, man. Something about Red Dead though just really brought me out of that trance, and I started exploring a whole new world when it came to this game and shit, man. So yeah, Red Dead 2, y'all know about it. It is what it is. All right, so we're gonna get into these. I'm missing one, which is UFC 2. I can't remember. I remember, guys, I had a lot more games. I had a lot more games than this, but when I was growing up, man, like I couldn't afford shit really like that, so I had to sell stuff to get new shit. I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that, you know? So I had to, sometimes if I want a new game, I'd have to sell 2 or 3 games. Because, you know, GameStop fucks you. So, you know, if you sell, I could sell this whole stack right now, come out with $10. So my stack has gotten shorter than what it would be. Also, I had GTA 5. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if I let someone borrow it and they just didn't give back or what, but I don't fucking have GTA 5 anymore. So, there's that. Anyway, guys, these last two, also, I Gamefly. So, real quick over here, guys, I just got a brand new game in the mail. But, you know, I ain't trying to show y'all my dress or nothing, you know what I mean? Because y'all motherfuckers. But I Gamefly. You know what I mean? I Gamefly. So, because a lot of reasons, I started Gameflying because I couldn't afford, when I had a lot of time on my hands, I used to beat games in like 3 days. So I'd spend like $60 and drill out that content in 3 days, man. And I just got to the point where I was like, fuck, I guess I spent so much money on 3 days worth of fun. You know, and some people say, oh, you can go back and play the hard mode and this and that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I go through my first playthrough, I do it so extensively. I don't get like platinums and shit all the time. I have like 3 platinums out of my whole shit. But I don't go through and get a lot of platinums and things like that. But I do try to get the most out of that first playthrough. And I think because of that, by the time I'm done with the playthrough, I'm kind of done with the game for a while. Doesn't matter how good the game is. It's just like I did so much in it. And now if there's enough content after I beat the game to continue, then I will, a lot of times. But my point is I get a lot out of the game with my first playthrough that it's hard to justify playing even on a hard mode right after I just beat it. It takes me some time. I need some time off. Let me take a breather for a second. Anyway, that's why I went back. That's why I went into Gamefly, man, because you know, you rent games. They do take a couple days to get here, but I do 2 at a time. So as I'm playing one and I get close to beating it, usually another one's either already here or it's on the way. So that's good. The downside is you don't get games day one. So if you want games day one, you're gonna still have to go out and buy a game, you know. So that's why for me, when I buy games, I make sure that it's gonna last me a minute. I'm not gonna beat it in 3 days. Also, I don't have as much time in my hands anymore. So beating games in 3 days just isn't really a reality as much as it used to be. So I don't know. Anyway, I was gonna kind of touch on how the digital version of these new consoles could kind of push Gamefly out of the running unless they go digital, but that's a whole other thing. Anyway, UFCs. This is UFC original. This one came out right after one of the best UFC games of all fucking time, which was the THQ UFC Undisputed 3 with Pride Mode. That was the dopest shit. I can't tell you how many heads I done kicked off shoulders in that motherfucker. Anyway, this one came out right after this one. This one obviously had better graphics, updated roster, and it had mechanics that were obviously better. But just it's hard not to look back and go, man, UFC Undisputed 3 was just that fucking that. It was the standard, man. It really was. We had UFC 2, which I don't have here right now. I may have to get rid of it. I don't remember. I did own it at one point though. Anyway, so there's that one. And then you already know what we got. UFC 3. I actually waited on this one because I was so I was pretty disappointed by UFC 2. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot to that game that I won't get into right now that disappointed me. And did I play it? Yes. Did I go through the story, the career mode, all that shit? Yes. But was I impressed? No, man. I really wasn't. And I was actually... It kind of made me want to go back to playing UFC Undisputed 3. So, and when you create a game that's so many lifespans past a prior title, and people still want to go back to that old title, that says something, man. Anyway, then UFC 3 came out. UFC 3 came out and changed the fucking game. Now, there are still people that play this and kind of wish they would have taken more from UFC Undisputed 3, which I agree with. I think there's a lot they could have taken from that game and added and mixed with the style of this one. But just the movement and the fluidity and just the way you can angle off and just the constant improvements to the game over time, this has been really good. Does it have a lot of cheesy ass things in this game? Hell yes. Does it need a lot of improvements? Yes. But mainly, now there's people that play this game more than me that can really touch on this, but you know, I would say, and just, you know, from training in real life, when I look at the game and playing it too, man, they need a complete overhaul of the ground game. The ground game is awful. My favorite ground game still, I believe, was UFC Undisputed 3. You know, where when you're on your back and you can move and you can buck, shrimp. You know, if you can't bump and shrimp and I can't move and swivel my hips and stuff, then what are we doing? I'm just standing here and transitioning. Like, I'm laying on my back and I just transition. And then they can stuff it or not. They can stuff it or not. I hope they figure that shit out, man. They need to figure that out to the point where the person on top can still work their defense and still work some offense, but at the same time, there needs to be more going on. There needs to be more going on, and especially from the dude on the bottom, man. And the way you get stuck in side control and motherfuckers can just, just rain down elbows. Fix it. UFC 4, I'm waiting for your ass. Anyway, that was this. Guys, last but not least, my small collection. Again, I have some PS3 titles that I was going to get into, but I guess I just decided not to. If you guys want to see, it's not really impressive, but if you guys want to ever see my PS3 collection, it's not very impressive, and some of the games weren't even mine. Anyway, as we got here, let's see, let me make sure it's in order. Bro, I don't know where the hell my case is for 2K20. Anyway, as you see right here, we got 2K15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. My favorite probably being 2K19. Some people would say, I mean, we're not talking of all time. I mean, I think Here Comes the Pain. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain was probably my favorite of all time. Unless you go back even farther on like the N64, then it was No Mercy. Oh, No Mercy was the bump. I remember playing that shit with my family. Oh man, my little sister be like Rikishi or something. I come down off the ladder and just bam, fuck your shit up. Anyway, 2K20. Other than having the Fiend in that game, fucking complete disappointment. 2K19 for me was hope that they were gonna start going in a better direction. The last thing I would have thought is that they would kill it for a year. Jesus. And you know, 2K20 to their credit, with what is it, Ukes or whatever it is, with them leaving, man, that was crazy, bro. And I couldn't imagine what kind of position that left them in. So it's hard for me to be too hard on them about that game, but reality was kind of a disappointment. Anyway, guys, and then like I said, 2K15, 16, 17, 18. I'll give 2K this credit. They made wrestling games feel more authentic. It kind of took the place of the fun factor, is what sucks. But they did make it way more authentic, and for me, a better experience to play versus just a fighting game with wrestlers. Because that's kind of what THQ was doing. Were they way funner? Yes. but they weren't nearly to the level and caliber of the simulation that 2K started to offer. 2K's problem is they just didn't know how to, they didn't quite find that medium between a good simulation and fun. They struggle with that. Hopefully, 2K22 finds that. And I'm actually glad they took a year off because I think they needed it. Anyway, guys, that's it. This is my long ass game collection. Like I said, would have had more, but shit happens in life, man. So, and I'm sure y'all understand that. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in, listening to my ass blab about the games that I have in my collection. And if y'all want to see more, like on my PS3 shit and whatever like that, let me know. Maybe I'll do something like that. Anyway, that's been my time.